All right, boys and girls, we've been working with forms of a number, and we've been working on turning standard form into word form, and we knew that all we need to do is be able to read the number out loud correctly and just write what we read. With expanded form, we're focusing on the value of each digit. We're either doing old school expanded form, where we are doing puzzle piece plus puzzle piece plus puzzle piece, or new school expanded form, which is when we have our packages of digit times place value. Today we're going to practice putting the puzzle back together. When you have a bunch of puzzle pieces in front of you, whether it's packages or puzzle pieces or maybe it's word form, we need to be able to put it back into standard form. And just like with a puzzle with a lot of pieces, we would always start a puzzle by doing the outside of the puzzle first. That way you know how big the puzzle is going to be and you start building from the outside in. And so that's what we're going to do as well here. This one, for example, is going from word form, where you have all the words, into standard form. And what I'd like you to do is do the outside of the puzzle first. I call that a template. And the way that we do a template is we basically need to focus and find out, well, how big is our puzzle going to be? We know that word form goes period by period by period, and those periods are separated by a comma. So I know that this right here is the very first period. It's also going to be the biggest. We always start with the biggest puzzle pieces first. So when I'm making a template for myself, this is going to be super important. I know that my standard form needs to go all the way to the millions period. So I know only teachers MASH. I know I'm going to have to go all the way to the millions period, and I know that there are 3 place values in each period. So I'm going to build my template or my puzzle border all the way through the millions period. At this point, I know exactly how big my final answer is going to be. I'm just going to fill it in. The first period says 562 million. So I know in that million section right here, it needs to say 562. Well, I know that's a 3-digit number, and I have 3 spaces, so I'm just going to fill in 562 in the millions period. The next one says 47,000. So I know in my thousands period, I need it to say 47. Well, 47 is only a 2-digit number, but I have 3 parking spots. In order for it to say 47 in the thousands period, I'm going to need to put the 47 here and fill in an empty space with a 0. We know zeros fill empty spaces. If I filled in the 47 maybe here and here, if I filled a 0 in this empty space, that doesn't say 47, it says 407, so that's not going to work. If I put the 47 in these parking spots and I fill the 0 in the empty space here, that says 470. So that's the only way to make that say 47 in the thousands period. And then in my last puzzle piece, because it's after the comma, it says 360. Well, 360 is a 3-digit number. I have 3 parking spots, so I'm just going to go ahead and fill that in. And the best part is we know that we can read it back to ourselves to make sure it's a match. We have 562 million, 562 million, 47,000, 47,000. Perfect so far. 360, 360, perfect match. Let's try another one here. We're going to start with a template. I know that this is my biggest puzzle piece. This is going to tell me how big to build my template. I need to go only this time to the thousands period. So I have 1, 2, 3 parking spots in that period, 1, 2, 3 in that period. Now I'm ready to build it. This one says 93 needs to go into that thousand section. Well, 93 is only a 2-digit number, but I have 3 spots. The only way for me to put the 9 and the 3 in to make it still say 93 when I fill in that empty spot with a 0 is that way. If I did it differently, if I did 93 like that and fill in the 0 in the empty spot, that says 930. Not going to work. That's the only way to make it say 93. In my last puzzle piece, it should say 211. That's a 3-digit number. I have 3 spots, and I end up with 93,000, 211, 211, perfect match. This next one my biggest puzzle piece is in the millions period, So I'm going to build this one all the way to the millions period. 1, 2, 3, comma, 1, 2, 3, comma, 1, 2, 3. In the millions period, I need it to say 5. Well, 5 is only a one-digit number, but I have 3 parking spaces. If I put the 5 here and fill in my empty places with zeros, that now says 500. That's not going to work. The only place for me to put the 5 is here, so that when I fill in the zeros, I still end up with 5 in the millions period. I'm going to look at my next puzzle piece. The next puzzle piece says 362. If you notice, the word thousand isn't even in this word form. That means I don't have any thousands, but I do need to fill in those empty spaces with zeros. That 362 is going to go into our ones period, and 362 is a 3-digit number. I have 3 spots to fill in, and I end up with 5 million, 362, 362, and it's a perfect match. Now this template is going to work the same way when we deal with expanded form. We know that our biggest puzzle piece is always going to be this number here. And if you notice, it has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 digits. Our biggest puzzle piece has 6 digits. That means that my answer, when I put it into standard form, will also have 6 digits. So I know that I need to put a 9 where it's worth 900,000. Well, that would be in the 100,000s place. It's in the 100,000s place here, so the 9 needs to be in the 100,000s place here. This 6 is in the 10,000s place because it's worth 60,000. So I need to make sure that I'm putting that 6 where it's also going to be worth 60,000. And if you're not sure, you can test that out when you put it into the number. You can see that that 6 in the 10,000s place is worth 60,000. This is a 400, which is a 4 in the hundreds place. Now, if I look, that next open place value is the thousands place. A 4 in the thousands place would be worth 4,000. This one's only worth 400. So I need to make sure that I put the 4 in the hundreds place so that it's worth 400. We'll talk about that empty spot in a minute. This is an 80, which is an 8 in the tens place, which is right here. And a 3 is a 3 in the ones place. Now you'll notice my answer had 6 digits, but I only had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 puzzle pieces. That's because one of those digits is going to be a 0. So I end up with 960,483. To build my template, I'm simply going to count how many digits are in our biggest puzzle piece. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I'm going to build it out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And put my commas where they belong, every 3 from the right. Now, I have a 2 in the millions period, or excuse me, the millions place here. And so I'm going to put a 2 in the millions place here. I know a 2 in the millions place is going to have a value of 2 million. This 8 is in the 100,000s place. So I'm going to go ahead and put that 8 in the 100,000s place here. This 5 is worth 50,000. In order for that to happen, it's in the 10,000s place. So I'm going to put it in the 10,000s place here. This is a 6 worth 600. Well, if I put it here again, that's the thousands place. That would be a 6, and the thousands place would be worth 6,000. I need that 6 to stay in the hundreds place. So I'm going to put it here. And a 4 is worth only going to be 4 if it's in the ones place. And you'll notice I have 2 open spaces. That's okay. We fill those with zeros because we had a 7-digit number and only 5 puzzle pieces. We're going to have some zeros to fill in. All right. The same thing's going to work with New School expanded form. This is my biggest puzzle piece. I know that my biggest place value is going to be the 100,000s place. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 digits. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Put my comma in. This one is basically taking orders. I'm going to put a 6 in the 100,000s place. I'm going to put a 3 in the 10,000s place. I'm going to put a 9 in the hundreds place, not the thousands, and I'm going to put a 2 in the ones place. I don't have any orders to put anything in the thousands place, and I don't have anything in the tens place, and that's going to create my final number in standard form. Last one, and then we're going to call it quits for today. This tells me how big to build my template out. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Starting over here, every 3 digits, 1, 2, 3, comma, 1, 2, 3, comma. Again, I'm just going to take orders. It tells me to put a 5 in the millions place. There we go. This tells me to put a 7 in the thousands place. Well, that's the 100,000s. That's the 10,000s. It's going to go here. This tells me to put a 9 in the hundreds place and an 8 in the tens place. And if it doesn't tell me to put something in, I still need to fill in those empty places with zeros. So that's how we would go from Word to Standard or Old School or New School Expanded to Standard. We'll practice this a lot tomorrow.